Hey guys, how you doing today? My first video on cooking. I got a lot of people telling me that I should be doing this, so I'm going to give it a try, see how that goes. What I'm going to try today is just to show you guys how I think scrambled eggs should be made. And this is subjective. Some of you might have your own opinions as to how scrambled eggs should be made, but in my mind a scrambled egg should be thick, should be fluffy, should be full of air. There shouldn't be any brown, no burn marks on it. You should be able to pick it up with a fork fairly easily, and you know, that's what I think a scrambled egg should be like. I've been to many places where that's just not the case. Sometimes it looks like the scrambled eggs have gone through a cheese grater. Sometimes it looks like they've been grilled in the same spot as the bacon, which requires a totally different cooking temperature, so is a big no-no. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get the bacon in the oven. Bacon is best made in an oven. Cooking bacon in a frying pan is like rocket science. 1 second too long and your bacon is completely messed up. But if you put it in a 425 degree oven for exactly 20 minutes, you will get perfect bacon every time. Leave it in for 22 if you want crispy. Leave it in for 18 if you want semi-crispy. Oh, got my hand over the, yeah, see? Look, total rookie at this whole video thing. Just gotta cover up the whole camera lens while I'm making the video. The next step, melt some butter in a frying pan. I don't care if you have the most non-stick, frictionless frying pan known to mankind. You still want some butter in your frying pan. Butter is better than margarine, so that's what I recommend. But if you don't have any butter, a little bit of margarine will do too. You just butter just has better health benefits in my mind, especially given my dietary needs. I feel like I should have a GoPro strapped to my head to make things a lot easier here. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get the eggs ready. So we're just going to crack some eggs into a bowl. Pretty simple stuff. I know a lot of you are expecting me to get kind of fancy and make these scrambled eggs a special way, but really, this is, in my opinion, the best way to make scrambled eggs. I know someone said they made them in a saucepan. That's cool. And if that works for you guys and you're making fantastic scrambled eggs, keep it up. But yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Another thing that I do with all my eggs, I like to add a little whipping cream in with them. And I find that it makes them a little fluffier when you're making them. You don't need a lot, just a little bit, just like that. I also don't add the pepper until the end of the cooking process, which is different from what a lot of people do. That's salt I'm putting in right there, by the way. Now I'm just going to grab a whisk and I'm going to whisk these up while that butter melts in the pan. You want to give them a really good whisking. You're incorporating a lot of air into the eggs, and incorporating air into the eggs is where they get that light fluffiness from. So give those a good whisk. The butter's just coming to a quick melt. I was going to do a live stream, but I wasn't really happy with the quality of the video the live stream was producing. Maybe it's my internet connection, maybe it's Facebook converting my video to a smaller size to better suit its needs, but I just wasn't happy with that at all. You can also add lots of other things into the scrambled eggs if you want to. Garlic powder is one of my favorites to add in. A little bit of smoked paprika works good too. Just gotta reach over here and give the butter a swirl around the pan. Now the live feed also wasn't working for me too well because, well, my 10-year-old doesn't make the best camera person. They tend to bounce around a little bit, and well, it was almost as bad as when my hand was covering the camera lens a few minutes ago. Alright, so now the butter's melting and these eggs are getting a really good whisking on. I'm going to turn the heat down. You want the heat nice and low. Good scrambled eggs should take you a minimum of 10 minutes in the frying pan to get done. You really don't want to rush them. You don't want any like sear marks, any burn marks on the eggs at all. If I got a brown mark on my scrambled eggs, I'm actually a little upset with myself. They should just be golden all the way around, a nice golden yellow. Alright, so now that my forearm is suitably numb and my eggs are good and whisked, see the bubbles? That means there's air in there. Air is what you want. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pour those into the frying pan. Now another mistake that a lot of people make is they just don't give the eggs there's some space, like scrambled eggs, they need space. Just let them chill for a couple minutes. You don't need to constantly be stirring them. You do need to stir them, but you need to let them start to coagulate a little bit before you do that. If you stir them too much, you're just going to end up with tiny little pieces of scrambled eggs that someone's going to need a spoon in order to pick up and eat. And well, that's just not enjoyable. We take a little break and we'll be back in a couple of minutes once these eggs start to coagulate. Alright guys, we're back, and you know your eggs are ready to start being scrambled when you can run the spatula through them and you can see it kind of clump in the middle. That's how you know the pan is hot enough and the eggs are starting to coagulate. And again, you don't want to go right to town on them. You just kind of want to make sure that there's always like uncooked egg touching the bottom of the pan. You just give it a couple little scrapes along the bottom like that, and then you just let it sit and do its thing. I can hear the bacon sizzling away in the oven, so that's a plus. And today we're just going to serve some strawberries with some scrambled eggs and bacon for the kids for lunch, which is possibly one of their favorite lunches. So that's pretty cool too. The eggs now will start to cook fairly quickly. It took about 3.5 minutes from the start to solidify and cook, but now that you see, I'm just taking nice, slow, long drags through the scrambled eggs. Pushing it all the way to the side. It's actually kind of like therapeutic. It's almost like an art form, I guess. I have an old stove, so the top is kind of uneven, so I have to like try to hold the handle on the frying pan while I do this and record at the same time. The microphone's way down there. I hope you guys can hear me okay. Once you start to run out of the uncooked egg, like there isn't that much like clear liquid anymore, then you're going to start flipping them, so that way you can rotate what's cooked on the bottom like that. And if you notice, I am like giving them like some constant mixing, but I'm not being fast about it. I'm not chopping them up with the spatula. I'm more or less just pushing them around. And that's really what you want to do. You're going to get the fluffiest, thickest, airiest eggs that way. See, that's a nice color right there. That is a nice light yellow. There'll be a little bit more by the end of it. We'll turn the heat down a little bit on the burner now that we've got a good cook going, because the residual heat from the frying pan will continue to cook them. And now we'll start kind of chopping them into the sizes that we want for the pieces of scrambled eggs. Like I said, you want to be able to stab your scrambled eggs with a fork and pick them up. Whether you're one of those masochists that puts ketchup on everything, or maybe you have a sweet tooth and you like a little bit of maple syrup on your scrambled eggs. You want to be able to enjoy a nice mouthful of it. You don't want to have to like struggle to get it to stay on your fork while you're trying to get it from the plate to your mouth. So let that sit for a minute. As you can see, it didn't take very long at all. I've only been recording for 2 minutes and 58 seconds, and our eggs are just about complete. No burn marks, nice big chunks of eggs. They're still glistening a little bit. Some people like them that way. Some people call them silky when they're like that. I'm not so much a fan of them that way, but if they are, now would be a good time for you to call it quits on the scrambling and just remove them from the heat. If you're into putting cheese on your eggs, this would be the point in time when I would start like putting the cheese on top, because you're probably about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes away from the end of the cooking time of the eggs. And yeah, that's almost spot on to 10 minutes, which I said should be the ideal time for cooking scrambled eggs. Once you start to hear them sizzle, you want to turn the heat down a little bit. Sizzling is a sign that they're starting to sear on the bottom, and like I said, that's not something you want with your scrambled eggs. And again, I always make mine in a frying pan. Non-stick, cast iron, doesn't matter, because the butter always acts as a lubricant anyways. But if you make them in the oven, I've done that as well. They turn out great that way. It's a little more time consuming, it takes a little bit longer. If you want to make them in a saucepan like my mom said her husband does, that's cool too. but this is the end result that you should be striving for no matter how you're making your scrambled eggs. Nice big chunks of scrambled egg. But like I said, no burn marks anywhere on the eggs. Just nice and golden yellow all the way around. No uncooked egg left in the pan. Those eggs right there are probably right where I want them to be. So I am going to move them over to my warming burner, and we are going to wait on our bacon, because you know, can't have scrambled eggs without bacon. And there you have it, guys, the final product. Nice airy fluffy scrambled eggs. So look at this, see how big that chunk is? I just stabbed that with a fork and picked it up. That is what you want when it comes to scrambled eggs. Bacon in the oven, 425, 20 minutes exactly. Perfect, crispy, nice, and it's perfect. That is how you make a breakfast. Like I said, it's all subjective. Maybe you have a better method. If you do, I'd love to see it. Share it. That'd be great. All right, until next time. Make sure you follow me on Instagram too. I try to post a nice low-carb meal every day, which, by the way, this would be low-carb. I've been on a diet now for 5 months, and this is how I eat. And I've lost almost 50 pounds since October, eating bacon and eggs. Yeah. Imagine that. So yeah, I'd love for you to share your recipes, and have a great day, everybody. See you later.